my job when I came into Spurs.
Someone's at my front door. I need to go and get it.
You're saying Saka's hair is iconic.
In many ways, I'm too humble. You know?
What do you think of this? Join two buddies, Alex and Loz, for a wonderful, wacky weekly take on the goings-on of the beautiful game. Expect laughs. I've read this to you before, haven't I?
I think so, and I think I said it was generated by ChatGPT, and I can't believe you used the word buddies. I can't.
I've got a new bit. I've got a new bit. Okay. Alex is a rising star in the football space, known for his brilliant sense of humour. And trademark perm, combining a love of Arsenal with a keen love of sucking off Mikel Arteta. Watch as he bitterly plays the content Game of Thrones, all while you get the sense he thinks he's slightly above it. Loza, is a veteran of the football media landscape, known for his brill takes on whichever team he thinks will get views this week. Handsome, charming, and a real card. Just don't get too far down the rabbit hole on Google, because you might not like it. Subscribe now or forever hold your peace. What do you reckon?
Right, so am I upset or am I angry? What am I at the top of this? It's best we just skirt over all of that and start talking about football, because you use the word brill.
Maybe we call the pod Alex and Loz Brill Football.
Brill cream still a thing? Do you know what Brill cream is? Do you know that was like a gel? Yeah. We could do that. I used to have some of that when I was a kid.
But you said, I thought maybe we need some counselling in the early stages of this podcast. You said, and I heard it, and it hurt when we last met, that you didn't like the name of this podcast. So maybe people in the comments can suggest.
I just think it looks like the James Alcott and Flav for now thing, and
so you want to be Alex and Loz for now?
No, I just think it looks like we're trying to rip them off, and we don't compare well. Put it that way.
I'd agree with that bit. In the comments, let us know if you have a name in mind. We are here after the Arsenal Brentford game last night.
How are you feeling? How are you holding up, buddy?
Okay, I've been doing some self-reflecting. See, it keeps working. No one wants to think that their team has a mentality issue, and I don't think
that's Arsenal a mentality issue.
Right. And I don't think Arsenal have a mentality issue. I really don't. Okay. But I've realised that I haven't even. I have to, if this is my job and I have to analyse. It's not my job. It's a self-appointed job. If you know what I mean. Yeah. If it a hobby that's got out of hand. If this hobby that's got out of hand is going to be taken seriously, I have to try, when I'm being serious and doing proper stuff, to look at everything. And I realised I just have never given that part of the analysis credence. The idea that this Arsenal team have some kind of mentality issue. Now, again, I don't think we do. But this time of the season, but that's what I mean. I'm like,
oh, right, okay.
I want someone to tell me we don't, and it's all okay.
Okay, I can't do that right now, but what I would say is, not the whole team has to have the same issue. I think some people try and write these kind of it's Arsenal sort of thing. And yes. I don't think that a point away at Brentford is all that bad. I think you're just at a point where in previous seasons we'd have spoken about gritting your teeth, biting down, any teeth things. We'd have spoken about things that show grit, basically. And I think that there are not many players that we associate with grit in this team because we haven't seen that happen. But I don't think that grit is the only way to do this. And I think, it's the same as when the TV came around and everyone went, oh, it's like a radio with a screen. Like, it's not. They're two completely different. They're two different mediums. And I think Arsenal are different in that way. Arsenal are like the TV to radio. What I mean is, everyone goes in and they go, oh, it's going to be like this. Yeah. But actually, it just completely is a completely different thing. It's a completely different object, completely different media. And that's why we need to analyse Arsenal differently.
When I was looking at the game yesterday, there are fundamental tactical issues which, if you want to go check out my channel TDK Plus,
I saw you chatting about certain elements of the inside and the outside. Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't need to necessarily repeat them here. So there are tactical fundamentals here, but there is also, and I said this on the show as well, there is also an emotional component to decision making. Now, are Arsenal, is this a bottling group or whatever it might be?
Is it?
I look at, I go through the group. Declan Rice wasn't there in 22-23. Nkapia wasn't there. Mosquera wasn't there. Raya wasn't. You know what I mean? So if you're going back and saying,
did they bottle it at the old places they were at? That's what you've not looked up.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And ultimately, 19 teams bottle it. I don't believe Arsenal are bottlers, but my point is that I've never even considered that there is something in it. And so how would you actually how would you try and analyze why a team might be a little bit or more on the back foot, or maybe not want to go grab something? And then I look at the tactical aspects of the game last night and the emotional components of the decision making, and I see a team not playing courageously. And yes, you can go into it and say, well, Arsenal don't have central access, and it's all about the fact that, and Saliba's missing, and yeah, I'm not disagreeing. But no one wanted to carry through the centre of the pitch. No one wanted to take the shot from the edge of the box. And you can blame the coach as much as you like, and he has to take some blame in this. Some blame in this. But there is an emotional component to it, and if we're constantly every week not every week, a lot of weeks, or whenever we fall over, we're asking for more bravery, we're asking for more courage, we're asking for more impact in the game. The type of football we saw in the last 10 minutes, in the opening 10 minutes of the first and second half. Again, I feel like I've put myself in a corner where it's like, well, so you're saying no, I'm not saying that, but I have to at least ask the question. And I imagine there's many Arsenal fans who have never wanted to look at that, but maybe we have to.
So I also think that a real issue you guys have got in terms of the way you analyse it, I actually think half the time you could just blame only the analysis for what the narrative is or what you see and think. Do you play golf?
No.
Okay. So when you go and play golf, there is a par for the course, which is a fairly common term, right? I think people know what par for the course means. It means that if you are to get around the course in a reasonable, kind of, that's respectable type figure, you'll get to the hole in 3 shots on this hole and 4 on that one and 5 on that one. This is par for the course. This is the tricky hole that you get to, and you just need to make par. You don't. But what you guys are currently thinking is, par here is 3. We need to do 3. You can make it up on other holes. You can have a really good hole somewhere. Other ways, it'll go badly. This is just the way that the game is. And I think sometimes people can get a little bit psyched out by a tricky moment where the gap closes between City and Arsenal. And the fact is, we always knew that the gap was going to close between City and Arsenal anyway, because we knew City were going to come into a decent run of form. And this is just the way the game is. So I think sometimes we're looking for a deficiency, and I'm not saying therefore you didn't do everything right, because I don't think Arsenal did. But I think you're also going to have games where you're not going to do everything right. And the point there is not to go, this is endemic, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. Is it a whole squad mentality issue? Is it just a couple of people? Do we need to weed out the bad eggs? Like, you've kind of done that. And that's my analysis of this. Do I worry you're going to get caught? I do have a slight concern about that, because you've got some difficult games, and the A&LTAF is a real... The A&LTAF for me is like... Oh.
Yeah. Well, if I'm putting my sensible and not worried fan hat back on, it's this one.
Yeah. Same hat.
It's the same hat. Wear it backwards.
You should have multiple hats.
Yeah. Look, it's one game. It's Brentford. It felt like the game that I was looking at, and I said this before the game. I was going that and the City game away. The away games. Those are the 2 games I look at that I'm concerned about. If you look at the rest of the sort of the run-in, I'm
literally just looking at it right now.
It's not. I wouldn't. It's not. There's no easy run-in, but it's favourable relatively in terms of the fixtures are spread out, etc., etc. I still think we'll win the league. I still believe that so much of the lack of bravery and the lack of courage that I saw last night was down to what Brentford were doing and some specific tactical stuff that we couldn't quite sort out. And I think we will sort it out. But and I want to be specific there as well because I think sometimes this creates, when you don't have a reference up top. And we kept going to Gyökeres. What was happening? And it's not Gyökeres' fault. It's just not particularly his bag, in my opinion, to hold the ball.
You haven't found that bag yet. Yeah,
he's got the hat. He hasn't got the bag.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the part of his game where he can shoulder to shoulder you. He can run in behind you. But the hold up play it's inconsistent at best. We also had no runners near him, so it was creating this black hole where we were just going longer and longer and long. Brentford knew that we couldn't have a reference to get out against their press, so they kept going full court. We needed to be brave to take the ball centrally and drive through it and maybe risk losing the ball and allowing the game to be a bit transitional and a little bit scary. We don't like doing that. And that combined with a lack of execution on the sides, that combined with, a couple of players not quite with their touches on the day, with the atmosphere, with the, 8:00 on a Thursday type thing, it creates a little bit of anxiety. Does that mean this team are bottlers? No, I'm not saying that. But what I've done, and this is the point, is I can explain to you why the team didn't look very courageous from a tactical and technical perspective. I can go to you, the Brentford is pressing us. We kept having to go along to it. It didn't suit. The game got stretched. We were trying to play around the outside. We didn't have these players at X, Y, and Z. We're not bottlers. But there is an emotional component to decision making, and I think some I've watched enough Arsenal now to at least have it in my brain that is part of it, and I don't want it to be, but it is at the minute.
What if instead of the denial thing that we did, we actually just said Arsenal did kind of bottle it last night? Actually, not even kind of. Arsenal bottled it last night when you could have been brave, you weren't. All of these things are okay. I think,
but that doesn't make us bottlers. Yeah,
right. The discourse is too avoidant of being bottlers. And I often think, well, if you just acknowledge it and you go, okay, we did bottle it last night. Not that I'm saying you did, but you get my point. Then you go, well, what would I do if I knew someone was bottling it? How would I change my approach as a fan to them? And how would I then support them better or support them differently or try to change the way we approach it? Yeah, I'm not gaslighting you, but what I'm saying is... How's this
Arsenal
not
fault.
Arteta's fault? No, what I mean is, it's not. That wasn't your fault last night because you only had some away fans. That's their fault, right? But what I would say is, how can you react to the way they're acting in order to encourage rather than to go, they're not bottlers, they're not this, they're not that? Because denial isn't going to help the situation. I didn't think Arsenal were great. I certainly think you finished the game weaker than you started it. And I thought, I guess from my perspective, I looked at how I thought, you should be finishing strong here, and all the action was actually more down Brentford's end in that last 10 minutes. Your end, but Brentford.
But you kind of hit on something there. Like we can look at it and go, like for example, Eza is a good example.
Yeah,
we're trying to find the solution, right? And we can sit here and go, some of the reason Eza's struggling is because Timber and Nkapie are the guys in the pockets, and he's not got someone to combine off. I don't necessarily disagree with that. But also, I think some of it is he's lost his way a little bit. He's lost his confidence a little bit. We have we have to be open to every possibility to find the right solution. Right? We're all here to find solutions to this. We want to win the league, so we have to be open to like, oh, maybe they are a bit nervous, and that's okay. Rather than this is me. The position I've been. They're not nervous. They're not worried. Stop projecting. That's my point. It's like. We have to be open to that to find the solution, and then Arteta and the supporters can go, oh, maybe they are actually a bit nervous. I felt they were nervous, for example, against Man United, and if I knew that, and if the team knew that, and if we collected, we're a bit nervous. You approach it differently. You can go, okay, let's calm down, which I never felt we did, and it's almost like it's what you said. We're so scared of being labelled that we won't even look at it.
Yeah,
and that might be where the solution is.
I think that's part of it is, when you've been through it a few times where you've gotten to a positive outcome, what to do to kind of get out of the skid or whatever you want to call it. I also just think I was looking at Eze last night and thinking, you're not getting on the ball in the right places. I don't feel like the team was really kind of geared towards playing towards his strengths. I didn't think that was just the width. I also thought that was the shape of the midfield overall. I thought Zubimendi got a bit lost. And the fact is, I think he does require someone behind him as almost an anchor to flourish. And I don't think that Rice or Zubimendi particularly played towards that strength. I thought both of them were just a little... They both felt a bit floaty to me last night. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, if that makes sense.
I think because the game was so stretched. That's where Zubimendi can... Zubimendi weirdly has brilliant off-ball numbers, but he can get... His influence can be lost in a game, in my opinion, when the lines do that. I think with Eze, what you're referring to, what I think is... is he needs to be close to players. He needs to be close to others. And whether it's his centre-forward or his midfielders or his wingers, whatever, he needs to be in combination. And that's when he's at his best. But look, I don't want to spend this entire podcast being nervous.
Working out if you're bottling it or not.
Yeah. And as I say, I don't think we are.
Run of games.
I don't think we are. But I'm nervous. Can you tell?
Do you know what else makes it difficult? I get that you're nervous. Do you know what else makes it difficult? I genuinely don't think you can look at a run of games this season for any club in the Premier League and go win, draw. That's a real... That in previous seasons, even as close as maybe 2 seasons ago, I could go, okay, well, at least we've got 3 games there where that boosts our confidence a lot. Yes. I look at your next few games, I think Wigan, I think, whoa, you know? I think Wolves away, you know, I'm not saying they're a great side, but, you know, Spurs away, neither of those games are going to be pleasant, should we put it that way?
No. And I think a lot of Chelsea, the nervousness has come, and again, where rationality and emotionality, how do you find the sort of the middle ground? But I think I'm trying to get it back somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And I think some of the emotionality and my nerves comes from because I think, oh, well, Man City are going to be perfect at the end of the season, and they're just not. They just are not going to be. It's a subconscious, like, well, we drop points, and no one else is ever going to drop points, and they just are. They're playing in their last, was it 12, 11 games now? Newcastle at home, Leeds away, Forest at home, West Ham away, who are fighting for their lives. They've got to play Palace at home. They've got to go to Stamford Bridge. They've got to play us. They've got to go to Burnley. They've got to go to Everton. They play Chelsea, Brentford at home. Yeah. They've got to go to Bournemouth, and they've got to play Villa. None of those.
The problem is, you said they, and I knew who you meant, so we know who the problem is here as well. I also think there's an unpredictable element in City, who are just quite kind of unpleasant foes, because Pep has got a kind of very magical, or sort of, you know, there's something a bit mystic about him sometimes, and when he's quiet, that's when you worry.
Can we talk about another team so I get less nervous? What about Man United?
I thought Fulham were bad against City. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, sure. Man United having a good moment. I'd say it's mostly... I think there are a couple of good English players in there, but mostly the foreign taxpayers doing a good job. What else is there to say about that? I suppose?
We were discussing that. If you don't want to hear discussion of this, it's absolutely fine. Just don't listen to it. We are going to talk about Jim Ratcliffe. No, but I
have a hot take.
Go for it.
I think Jim is more representative of a lot of people's opinions than we like to acknowledge.
Yeah,
and
you felt emboldened to say it, right? So.
Yeah, but to be fair, he almost walked in the room and went, just met Keir Starmer and Nigel Farage. And I thought to myself, coming off the back of those, this isn't going to go well. You know? Does that make sense?
Yes.
I was very confused as to why he did this interview in this style, why he did loose Jim instead of conservative Jim. Does that make sense? I mean, he's definitely conservative.
He's definitely conservative. I was just going to say.
But why he didn't lean more into that? Because comparing this interview to the Gary Neville interview, you know, now he looks more like a harried Liberal Democrat than anyone else because of just the way he conducts himself. he's throwing things out there, whereas against Gary Neville talking about Manchester United, he was more careful, if that makes sense.
He was super cautious in that interview. If you haven't seen it, it's the one with Neville where he sort of... It's the one where he goes, you're cutting like ex-United players like 40 grand or something, and Neville goes, why don't you just get Bruno and Harry in a room and like get everyone to pay for a dinner? And he's like, good point, actually. I could have done that.
Yeah.
And you're like,
yeah, I do like
what?
that. Yeah.
That's such a good point.
Because that's foreign money paying for something in the UK, which I want. That's what we want.
I mean,
I get that.
I don't know what's kind of in, but I do. I sort of think about the United dressing room. You know what I mean? What was it like, Scholesy, when Ferguson was there?
You're a legend.
I think about that and how odd it must be to be one of those players playing for a guy who lives tax-free in Monaco, criticising immigrants. I think even if you think that, and that's up to you to some degree. Why are you saying why have you said it is the big question
emboldened.
For me. But there must be a reason. Because that can only he surely he thinks for the sake of Manchester United, that is only a negative. There's no way. Even if he thinks I'm correct, he knows how that will play. Surely.
I wonder if also the benefits outweigh the bad media that we have in the short term. And I think,
my question is, what benefits?
Okay, so I mean, if you want to talk about political benefits, then essentially it's a shot across someone's bow saying, I'm a billionaire and I'm voicing my displeasure with the way that things are at the moment. Whether you like it or not, there are going to be people that disagree with him, and they're going to do their think pieces. But the think pieces are water off ducks back to him. What he really cares about is making allies in the space that he's in, and in particular political allies in the space that he's in, who then go, God, thanks for saying that. That interview, you compared me to the Prime Minister. And that's kind of what I think is at play there. So I think ultimately, I don't know him. I've never met Jim Radcliffe. I'm sure we got on well at a barbecue, but I'm not sure that we could be long-term friends.
I think similar to Eddie Howe, I think he probably wouldn't want to talk to you.
It's a nightmare rotation, isn't it? I think overall...
What's the nightmare blunt rotation?
Right, I didn't want to say blunt, but fair play.
Of Premier League owners.
Okay, so I also, by the way, I was in a Liverpool group, and obviously this was being sent to a lot of Liverpool groups, sort of going, oh God, look at that guy. I screenshot, what the hell's what's the Liverpool owners? John Henry.
Yeah.
Stood right behind Trump and went, yeah, because our guy's lovely. Like, none of our guys are preferable. Yeah. And I'm not saying, therefore, they're terrible people. I'm sure a lot of people have to play a political game. But I think ultimately your Twitter take and your Independent article and your Guardian article are by the by to these people. Broadly.
They don't. Yeah. They don't.
I mean, also, if you've moved away from the UK, the likelihood is, you don't have that much of an affiliation. So I think there's a lot at play here.
Steve Parrish should be all right.
Tricky still. That's why I miss owners. Who was the old owner of Newcastle?
Oh, Mike Ashley.
Mike Ashley. Good fun. Definitely knows a guy.
Who? Yeah, okay.
Mike, do you know anyone in the local area? You've got a number. Okay, Mike's on it. Yeah.
You had to spend an afternoon playing mini golf and getting
John
ice
Henry.
cream on Brighton Beach. What would you do?
I just want John Henry because at least I could pick his brain. I'm not interested in going out with Parrish or anyone else because...
Come on.
First of all, the gay thing. Secondly, I just want it to be... I want to be around influence, I don't want to be around someone that I sort of go, I could maybe do what you do, but I don't think I could do what John Henry does.
Yeah, I've derailed us.
Who would you do? You do Josh.
That's your job. Yes. Yeah. I think...
I don't think the players care, by the way. I think, by the way, in the same way with the United Strand thing, United Strand... Let's say it because everyone says it on every podcast. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. He comes across really well on camera. He's got a lovely personality, all these things, because he does. The players don't care about that.
I suspect it's hurt. I suspect it's hurt, though.
I think they're annoyed by it more than them going, for the hair. They're not.
Oh
doing
no!
That.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean the how. I mean Jim Ratcliffe. Like,
oh right, okay, my bad. Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, you can't. You're playing for a club who's owned by a guy who says that. And
do you think they didn't already know that? I think a lot of them probably already knew that. I think a lot. I mean, or didn't
they might have assumed it, but it's the difference between someone coming out and just say that. What I often think of these situations is, okay, you're saying that publicly. You're using the word colonised publicly. Yeah. So what are you saying privately?
Well, we can't assume, first of all, Alex, that, maybe privately it's actually better, and maybe in public he was just being a bit bombastic. Sometimes I get a bit leery when I get in a mic. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe he was just showing off. Maybe there was someone in the room and he was
showing off
going,
to his mates.
Watch this. Yeah, I think the UK's sort of been. What's the word? And his mate goes,
"Let me use it." Yeah, say the most inflaming word you can.
Exactly, yeah. I also think it shows some people have better strengths in engineering than they do in people skills.
On the United strand, what I was talking about this the other day. Firstly, do you think he wants United to win? Because on some level,
right,
there comes a point, and if I was his agent or sort of PR thing, I would be like, there is a point when people will lose interest, and you kind of want the haircut
past that.
But no, I don't think, because he's getting all these brand deals. He's right peaking. So that would have been, for me, that was the perfect time if they won that game against West Ham.
They needed to do it, yeah.
It was the perfect time for him. I worry if it's going to be in another 6 months or whatever.
No, but that's kind of my point, mate. Like, look at the fixtures. United don't put 5 wins back to back together for the rest of this season. So Everton was postponed. So already he's got what is a almost 2 week wait. That's another centimetre of hair probably.
Yeah.
Man United then play Crystal Palace. Sure, they're going to win there. Newcastle away, Aston Villa at home, Bournemouth, Leeds, Chelsea, Brentford, Liverpool, Sunderland, Forest, Brighton. There aren't 5 games in there, so then we're at the summer. Now, what we could do is we could transpose this onto England somehow, and he makes this in some sort of if England win 5 games, I'll
or win the
shave
World
my
Cup
hair.
maybe or something. Yeah.
If that conversation hasn't already happened, I want in now because I came up with that. I also just think, in general, it probably shows. I think it shows he was a casual rather than a committed fan. And I don't think he's committed to United as much as he's committed to the bit now.
Well, I suppose he probably started out as a United fan. But
mate, anyone who's a football fan intensely knows it is a really silly thing to say, my team will win 5 games back to back. You know how difficult that is. Like, I can't stress how much we were surprised when Liverpool won their opening 5 games of the season in that fashion.
Yeah, no, I hear that, but I suppose he's thinking, maybe an early FA Cup round and cheeky Carabao Cup and scraping a couple of wins. I don't think he sat there at the beginning of the challenge going, I'm going to, and I think some people have maybe post hoc said he's like trying to harm the club. I think it's just snowballed. I think it started as a bit
how
of
much
fun.
harm can he really
but
do?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he ever thought this. My main issue with it is, I actually don't think it's him that's made as much noise as the media that do all these AI renders and the coverage of it is more mind-numbing than actually hearing from him. I like hearing from him. I like when he does day blah blah blah. The rest, could take or leave. I
suppose I'm slightly sticking up for him because, like, you hear like Wayne Rooney saying, he does my head in. I
don't get why Wayne Rooney was saying. If I'm a Manchester United fan and Wayne Rooney says that, I go, I've got to shave it now.
Yeah, it's just like it's obviously started as a joke. The guy, I think, when maybe what's rubbed people up the wrong way now is he's doing like stake partnerships and things like that. But
get your money, bro. What else are you making?
This is the thing: is that people check in with it at certain points, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy started it as a kind of like as a bit of a joke, and it gets 10, 15 days. He's probably getting a little bit of traction. I challenge anyone, if you were getting a little bit of traction on a challenge that literally takes you 5 seconds a day, just go, I'm just not going to do that anymore. No, you would. You would just carry on. And
also, you can't go back once it gets to a critical mass.
And then
you can't
also
shaved it.
You also recognise that that's the way you're going to be viewed, probably forever. There's almost no way he can
so
redo.
I don't like the word forever.
Hang on. He's going to redo his PR. There's no way he can redo his PR here, in my opinion. He will be the guy.
Does he regrow his hair? Does he do his pubes next? Like, what's the idea? You know, Manscaped.
He will. It could be the partnership.
Huh.
So at each point he's started as a joke. Everyone has joked. Right. You get 10 days in. Would you stop? No. You carry on. You start getting some traction. No, you'd carry on. Of course you'd carry it. Whatever. And you get to a point where you're being offered crazy money. You'd all take it. So I don't love this sort of, this guy's doing my head in. Like, it's a joke that's kind of got out of hand. My thing though is if I was his PR guy or his agent or whatever, that was the day, because I think people will start to lose interest, and I don't know how. I thought there was a moment, if he'd shaved his head, given it to charity, started a pod or something, there was something in there for him. I don't quite know what it was.
Views. Yeah, I just think his problem is he's also been found to just pretty much just be a nice guy. And I think his edge probably was the thing. And I'm sure he's probably, there's a whole life ahead of him. He's not an old guy. It's not like he's like a 60-year-old guy who's growing his hair. He's got a whole load of stuff. I think this would just be a happy chapter in his life.
Yeah, maybe he just calls it a day. Maybe just says that was fun.
I would say that's not the worst thing to do sometimes. Yeah. Like, the space is already pretty congested with middle-class white guys who think they know a bit too much about football. That's it's not a niche. Do you know what I mean? Thank you.
It's also I suppose it's a very Western kind of late capitalism mindset.
What, you think in Russia this would be very different?
You've got to monetize this. You've got to make sure you use this as a platform to go on to. It's like, it could just be what it is.
Like I said, just a fun little, a nice little pleasant moment for him to go, oh, I was famous once, son. Look at this. And then his son goes, the hell is that? Of course you would. I mean,
yeah, you would.
You got to wait till they're a certain age and they can understand the context. But yes.
It's a really good anecdote.
I don't know if it's I don't quite know how you tell it. I just think you go, I grew my hair once. I think it's very underwhelming until you see it. And even then I sort of think, well, he doesn't wear it like that at home.
The best
something
version
that's going to keep it down.
The best version would be you just sort of slip it into conversation. Oh yeah, actually I grew my hair out once and went crazy. I met Wayne Rooney.
The world. Yeah.
And just leave it there. Did he meet Wayne Rooney?
By the way, real talk. David Raya's hair is at an all-time peak at the moment for you guys. I think David Raya is going through a real moment. Going through a real moment. Yeah.
Okay, best Premier League haircuts. We're here now.
Whatever.
I think let's keep it current. Okay. Szoboszlai is
fantastic.
He's up there. It's a great head of hair. It's a great head of hair.
Van Dijk's is iconic. It's not crazy, but it has become
iconic.
If you saw that hair, you would know exactly who it is. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's like a low bun. If you saw Saka's hair, you'd know it was Saka.
Yeah, it's iconic.
So you're saying Saka's hair is iconic. You can't call it iconic.
Not in the same way as Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk does have a certain thing that goes with it. Let's not go down a rabbit hole here, Alex. Just agree and move on. You're right, Lawrence. That is crazy.
It's not iconic. It's not iconic. You can't say Van Dijk's hair
has iconic hair. Not now, but back then.
Does he have iconic hair?
You knew it was Mo Salah because no one else in the game had that hair.
I'd know your hair. I don't.
Yeah, but not in the same way. These are. This is iconic.
How would you when you say you saw, you just see it on, you know who the person is, so of course you know.
No, but what I mean, but obviously it's also everything, all the emotions you feel when you see that. Like when I see Virgil,
all the emotions you feel when you see his haircut.
Yeah, Mo Salah's hair was a big part of all of that. Do you not think?
Are you saying like if you saw it in a silhouette, you'd immediately know it's Salah?
You would.
Okay, just the hair.
Yeah. Not his hair, the old hair.
Yeah, if you saw Salah's old hair in just a silhouette, you'd know what it is.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think
we can test this.
We should test it. I feel like you can do it with most Premier League players. I think you'd be able to tell.
Again, it's the feelings that come with that. So that's what I'm saying. So Van Dijk,
iconic to you.
Ooh, I'm not getting past that. Yeah, jealousy is an ugly emotion. So I would say those. I think.
Who else? Who's got good hair in the Premier League?
Victor Gyökeres definitely has a Brill Cream deal.
Yeah, he does. I mean, Calafiori has to have a shout.
Calafiori's great hair. Him and Szoboszlai must swap notes, I think. There aren't actually that many kind of crazy haircuts in the Premier League at the moment, are there?
Yeah. I mean,
it's quite a sort of button-down time. I think shaving your sideburns is not iconic.
I'm on GQ now, looking at the best Premier League hair.
And Burmo?
I'll tell you who it isn't. Anthony Gordon, because he looks like he's just played Wimbledon 97.
Claire Balding.
So Wimbledon 1978, sorry.
Oh, wait. I think there might be... No, Tyrone Mings is nice, but not iconic.
Hugo Ekitike's could become iconic.
How did I not think of that? Ekitike is iconic.
It's not iconic.
It's not iconic. Ekitike is... It's good hair, though.
It's cool, I would say.
Do you know who I think does have good hair is Olaina?
Olaina.
Right back for
No, I know who he is, but I'm Googling him.
Is it Aina?
Aina. He once said a nice thing about Arsenal, so I like him.
Semenyo.
Yeah, I like Iwobi's hair as well. I think Iwobi's is really cool.
So I think Semenyo is slightly better because it feels a bit looser. Feels like a heavier set of hair.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that works better because it goes all over the place while he's running. I love that.
Do you know, I think, Madueke has the hairband.
Yeah.
It's to tuck 2 strands into his... Because basically, I think he's got everything else in a bun. In a bun.
But he can't get everything else.
That can't quite go in the bun, so he uses it. So surely there's a different way of...
That? I mean, I quite like it. I think Madueke actually looks cool.
If you were... We will get back to actual football in a second. If you could design yourself...
Yeah.
Top to toe as a footballer, what would you go? I'd go... And let's say you're playing...
Romelu Lukaku.
Number 10. You're playing number 10 for Liverpool and I'm playing number 10 for Arsenal.
Yeah.
I'd go white boots.
I see what you're doing.
White tape.
Right. You can do that. I couldn't. You've got to match the tape colour. Yeah.
High socks.
You do high socks?
Yeah, high socks. 100%.
What, like Thierry Henry?
Yep. High socks.
You can't pull that off.
I can. The shorts, I'm not doing Noni's sort of low short thing. I'm doing like pulled up. Under Armour, because I don't like it when they're short sleeve, but I like the Under Armour. It looks better. Right. I'd have the
you tape your hand.
I'd tape my hand. There'd be tape everywhere.
Like Benzema?
I'd tape, like Benzema.
You tape your ears? Did you just indicate?
And I'd tape my ears. I wouldn't even have earrings. I would just tape my ears.
Okay, so the only thing I'd do differently is I would do 2 black streaks of whatever that thing is that people put under their eyes. It looks like shoe polish or whatever. Yeah. And that's how I go out. And that is how people would remember me. And I think it would become a bit of a thing in the league for a little while.
Yeah.
And when
I
celebrated, I'd do that.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
And then run off. And I'd run towards the camera and go, and people go, wow, that 37-year-old guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah, everyone would love you so much, man. It's so sick.
Probably.
Let's talk Nottingham Forest, who are approaching their 4th manager of the season.
Oh, God, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about that. Yeah. Good fun, isn't it? If he sacks the next one and does 5, that would be incredible.
That would be a record.
Because 4's a record, isn't it?
He is terrifying, Marinakis. And I think...
Yeah, because of the charges.
What charges?
Or accusations.
What accusations?
Just look it up.
Okay, I genuinely didn't know.
Okay.
But I think the Morgan Gibbs White interview was the one we stood there and he's like saying thank you to Mr. Marinakis.
Yeah.
That's very... We all know that person who you almost can't... they can't function without you praising them. That you have
Never
to
come
praise
into contact
them.
with that before.
It's basically you. It's like you have to just constantly stroke their ego, otherwise they cause it. It's like, oh, you're so brilliant. Thank you so. And because he's the owner of the football club, it kind of
he owns it.
Yeah, not quite what I meant.
That's the nature of being owner. But what I mean is,
as in, like it's a natural. Thank you so. But
Mr. Marinakis also, like, normally it's the Mister before it. And it would also have been weird if he'd gone Marinakis. But it's also strange that he doesn't just, like, you know, if someone says... Normally they'd say the ownership or the owner. These guys.
Yes. Rather than Mr. Marinakis.
It is also strange that he's standing right there when they're doing it. I think that's the thing that really throws him off.
Yeah.
And maybe there he just doesn't know what to say because he's right next to him.
I don't know. It really... It reeks to me of those people who are, like, very loyal. But if you cross them, they are completely... They will do anything to cause your downfall.
So that's really not loyalty then.
No, it's not. But that's my point. It's like those people who will, like...
not loyal then.
They will back
They're toxic
you.
Is what they are. Yeah.
They will back you to
They say
the hilt.
weird things at parties. You're having a really good time at a party, and then they come over and they'll notice you're having a good time, and they'll go... Yeah, just remember that report that needs to be on my desk 9 a.m. Monday morning, mate. Anyway, have a good weekend. And you're like, you dick. Like, they can't let you just have it. I wonder if Liam Rossini is the perfect manager for Mr. Marinakis.
Well, what I was going to say was, obviously Forest
Who do you see as a good fit?
For Forest? I don't know who they are anymore. So, maybe Ange. Because he knows who he is.
Are they also in a bit of a spiral in the sense that they did get rid of someone that was actually getting quite good for them? Maybe they realised the breakup was a mistake and now they're just kind of trying to make up for it by dating around a little bit and just getting a bit of tail while they can.
Possibly. I think the Vitor Pereira thing, there's better managers.
Yeah.
Surely. So
Xabi Alonso hung up.
But again, interestingly, he's worked with him before, Vitor Pereira. So I wonder if he has that pre-existing, like, you're going to do what I want you to. It does feel quite toxic.
Does it not also... I mean, really, there are now... how many clubs in the drop? That is a lot of teams
that was kind of the reason I went with the link. So they've just... And also Deitch... Well, I was also going to talk about Spurs and the Ange interview. The people in the drop, basically, at the minute, I would say, where's my table? Here it is. Leeds are on 30 points.
Yep.
Spurs are on 20. Brighton 29. On 31 points. Interesting. Spurs on 29. Forest on 27. West Ham on 24. Burnley on 18. And Wolves on 9. I mean, Burnley and Wolves are gone, I would say. Maybe Burnley have an outside shout. But
I mean, it feels long for Burnley, doesn't it?
I think Forest might go down because the amount of instability, the amount of change. There's only so many new manager bounce. Let's all go on this train 100%. You can do in one season, and I think Nuno's a brilliant.
Another one.
I think Nuno is a really good manager. He's won 3 of the last 5 for West Ham. I think West Ham are going to get out of this. I think they've got too many good players, and Forest will go down. Spurs will be fine.
Forest being in a tailspin saves Spurs.
Yeah. But that's always the way. It's you have to be the fourth worst. You know, like there's always 3. You know, there's 3 worse clubs than you.
What I would say is, especially about Forest, they did have a lot of the play. I mean, they had all the play against Wolves, and I think they lost to Leeds. What happened against Palace? I can't remember that. I need to look this up.
Nottingham Forest against Palace, they drew 1-1, and they had the red card.
I'm not sure they're quite as lost as... It worries me a little bit for Spurs, because I would just wonder if it was a bit of he was stinking the place out, it wasn't quite what he wanted, it just got a bit toxic, and I do worry that maybe they are going to turn it around, because I think they have a lot of... They are a decent side. Like, especially when you look at that lineup, I don't look at it and think, that like that back line to me says solid. The midfield says solid. It's really just they've not been finishing their chances over the last few games.
I look at Forest squad. There's so much talent, but then I have to sort of check myself and go, is Gibbs White, Elliot Anderson, Sangare, Murillo. There's a lot of players that I really, really rate there. But then I have to check myself and go, is that not just the Premier League now? That there's just, you'll look at every squad that looks like it's going down. You're going to see. So to just go, there's enough good players there. I was like, well, it has to be like 12 at this point. It can't just be, like sort of 10 years ago, it'd be like, well, they've got one player. And it's like, oh, they'll be fine. They got him. And now you need about 10 of them, I think.
I guess the same could be said for Spurs, but I think Spurs do have a bit of a slightly more limited lineup. Spurs do have a very talented set of players, but they also have a lot of very demoralised players at the moment, I think.
Yeah.
Forest probably have the same, but I think Spurs definitely feel a little bit like they know things are changing.
Who's going down? I think it's Wolves, Burnley, and Forest.
I don't want to see Forest go down.
I don't want it for their fans, but
you hate the Midlands
when there's bad ownership and what to me appears like toxic ownership. And also Edu's there. Oh,
I see.
So I never want people to go down, but like I'd prefer Forest over West Ham to go down. Actually, who am I kidding? I'd want Spurs to go down, but you know what I mean. I don't think they will.
What I would say is, and this could get interesting, because West Ham play Bournemouth in the same weekend that you play Spurs, right? Just think about this. Bournemouth aren't unbeatable right now. West Ham could realistically get something at home to Bournemouth, right? Mm-hmm. That same weekend, Forest play Liverpool at home. It's not out of the realms of possibility that Forest do something against Liverpool, but it feels a little beyond them right now. That same weekend, Spurs host Arsenal.
Yeah. So we could see Spurs. Have West Ham got another game? When do they play?
No, they don't. Everyone's got this little break in between because of the FA Cup. But what I'm hinting at though.
Forest could be above them.
And then there could be as little as 2 points difference between. Then you're looking at Spurs getting sucked into something, even though they'll probably power their way out of it. Clubs like this, big clubs, do not like being sucked into these things where you're not dealing with it. You just not. Your mentality is not built to deal with this battle. And you were talking about mentality earlier with Arsenal and that kind of getting to them. Why do we only talk about that with the title? I think it's worth talking about that with Spurs and with everyone else, especially considering that if we're talking about history, the Spurs team have a history of just dropping off.
I don't think that team think of themselves as relegation fodder. Mm-hmm. Therefore, will they have the fight to get out of it? Can they stop the slide in that way? I think they have the quality, but is there the fight within them? I don't know. Did you see the Ange interview? Because I want to talk about that to close us out. Yeah, I sort of liked and didn't like it. I sort of respect the honesty, and I think I sort of can't help but quite like Ange on one level.
I like him. Yeah.
I hated how he spoke to people in the media sometimes, but because it just felt like a massive power trip. That's a different conversation. But it did feel quite self-preservatory. It felt like
it's calling Spurs not a big club.
Yeah, it's like he was going. And bro, you lost like 22 games last season. And I understand that's not all your fault.
You helped to shrink them.
You did lose 20. Yeah, exactly. You did lose 22
games. Honey, I Shrunk
games.
the Club. It's a new film.
You did lose 22 games, and I like he's on the show, and they're giving him like, oh, Ange, wow. And it's like, but
that seems to be the style at the moment of interviewer. You either are an arse to them, like
the guy with Thomas Frank.
Where even after that, who was the guest? Mikel Antonio went, that was a bit much, wasn't it? On the air.
Yeah.
Or similar with Ellie and Luco, where you basically go, here's the thing. It's kind of weird that no one has sort of done that and gone, 22 games though, mate.
Because similar to, not saying he's the same as Marinakis, but there is an energy to him where if you...
A gruffness.
if you said something, he'd come back at you, so you just don't want to go there. I think.
Okay. For a second, you are the actor of the two of us, though we both went to stage school, but we're both actors of sorts. You from here are Ange Postecoglou on the podcast. Okay. But Ange, you lost 22 games at Spurs, mate, and the injury record while you were there was horrific. We feel that you're a big part of that slide. Why? You didn't say you had to do the accent, but if you want to, you're a big part of that slide. Do you not take responsibility for that?
Look, mate, I don't know what you're getting at, because, I want a trophy. And, my job when I came to Spurs was to win something.
Yep.
And, I did, because I always win something my second year. So,
He did that, didn't he? That was really good, the way he did that.
And I'm a winner. So, whatever. I might have lost 22 games, but I won the most important one.
So that is his comeback.
So,
it's deflection, isn't it? But Ange really didn't answer the question there, did he? Because you can't answer you lost 22 games.
Exactly.
Apart from saying it because it's a small club. But it's such a...
But that's why I liked and didn't like, because I like his honesty. I appreciate that I think for a lot of Spurs fans, they'll feel like represented by him. He's calling out the owners and the board and stuff. And if I was in that position, if my club had gone, if my club was in a relegation battle when I really shouldn't be, sure. I would like that. Nice the Cruze mug. But he doesn't take any accountability. He doesn't go like, I wasn't good enough, I couldn't get the... He just goes, I won the trophy. And it's like, yeah, but you did... And Thomas Frank says it in his interview. Thomas Frank said it in his post-match, I think, in one of the games. He was like, look at we did lose a lot of games last season. The idea that we were going to be challenging for a title this season when we were 17th and or 16th or whatever they were and losing 22 games last year, that feels like a bit of a leap. And also, I sort of hate this thing that managers do when they go, oh, all those successful players now, I wanted them a couple of summers ago. It's like...
Yeah, I don't like that.
Okay, man. Like,
yeah. We almost signed him. You didn't know, did you? Because you didn't convince him.
And you didn't, so it's irrelevant. Yeah. I'm sure loads of people wanted to sign him.
I also thought of him as good at the time. All right.
But it's also, but he's the sort of dude who and again, I do quite like him, but he would never go, actually, I wanted to sign, this guy who's now ended up in Sweden and has scored 2 goals, whatever.
Do you know who sorts this club out? But he's not available, but he should be.
Tim Sherwood.
Eddie Howe.
Yeah.
Eddie Howe sorts that 11 right out. Archie Gray, Dragusin, Van der Ven, Jed Spence. Nothing screams Eddie Howe backline more than that, right?
Yeah.
Midfield, Basuma, he bloody love him. No, it's not Ishmael, so it's Papa. Is it
the other side? The other side is
Matissar.
Papi Matissar.
Yeah, exactly. Conor Gallagher.
Oh, that's an Eddie Howe player.
He stinks of Eddie Howe.
Get around the pitch.
It's not Odebear, but it is Solanke. Solanke stinks of Eddie Howe because didn't he play with Eddie Howe?
Yeah, I think he did play with him.
Javi Simmons, and then the subs they used, Matthias Tell, stinks of Eddie Howe. Paulinia, he's the kind of player that Eddie Howe speaks to as if they're both world class.
Yeah.
Colin Moani stinks of it. They have a squad that Eddie Howe could master, and they also have a starting 11 that's injured right now. I can't imagine what Eddie Howe would do if he got control of this team. Christian Romero is meant to be in that side. Kudus, Pedro Porro, Lucas Bergval. The next manager that walks into this that can work out why they're all getting injured. I just imagine the next manager walks in and just goes, why are you guys jumping off that wall? They just keep jumping off the wall.
Yeah.
And he's just like, what are you doing that for? And then they go, well, it's just part of training. And he goes, stop doing that straight away. And they go, oh, but do you think that was what was causing the problems? Well, of course. What are you doing?
And did Levy install the skate park? Is that what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And you guys do wrestling before you start there. This is bizarre. What? You had him in a chokehold there. You made him tap a second ago because you twisted his ankle. Stop doing this.
Who is the Spurs manager in your mind when Arsenal face them next Sunday?
It's some sort of interstitial guy, isn't it? I think they're very unlucky that Michael Carrick's not available.
I think De Zerbi.
The only reason I don't think it's De Zerbi is I think there's something in the summer, and Poch and Spurs keep making goo eyes at each other. I think there's something there, but I think the Poch thing is either genius or an awful move.
I never feel it works a second. Like, can you name me a time when a manager's come in, other than maybe Jose, but then look how that ended, when a manager's had success at a club,
everything was still in his shape,
and it's been exactly, and he'd done so much that he kind of couldn't fail to some degree.
Was it?
Whereas Poch never got over the line.
Did Ancelotti ever return anywhere? Ancelotti must have returned.
Possibly.
Did Zidane?
Yeah, but as a manager, did he manage Madrid in 2 stints? I don't think he did. Did he?
I was just thinking in terms of him being a player and then coming
No,
back.
I'm saying as a manager, where you have a bit of success or some kind of success, and then you leave, and then you come back and you are more successful. I can't think of. There might be one, but I can't think of one.
He
did. Yeah, Zidane was 2 stints. I didn't realise that.
So he did. He did actually. Yeah. Could still cover for myself even if he hadn't. So doesn't matter either way, does it? Yeah, I was right. Whatever happens, and that's ultimately my career. So I think it's Zidane. But Zidane will not manage Spurs.
Spurs aren't getting Zidane. We say that.
I think he's outside in the job. I think he's an outsider at best. Who was the guy who was Austrian and managed Manchester United?
Oh, Ralf Rangnick.
He's in the odds.
Yeah, he's giving Spurs.
He gives short-term Spurs because he also looks a bit Spursy, doesn't he?
Do you think one of the current sort of Glasner's leaving? Do you think he looks at Spurs and just goes, "I might just go now"?
No, because he sees himself as Palace. Like he sees that as another Palace job. He sees his next step as like up.
Marco Silva feels quite Spurs, mainly because they're playing on white.
Marco Silva feels pretty nailed on for me.
He's in the running. I enjoyed
Tim Fulham as well.
Did you see Tim Sherwood on Sky Sports going? It should be me. Actually, I think I'll play you the clip because it's just so.
I try and avoid Tim Sherwood at almost all costs.
Hang on, let me try and find it. I think Jamie Carragher retweeted it, which I found really funny. Yeah, here we go. He just retweeted it without saying anything.
That is weird. Is that also just Sky going retweet this, JMO?
I don't think so. I think he's retweeting it because of what he says. Hang on, let me
bring it up. Are they going to be able to?
Yeah, they can hear it.
Tim, you've worn the shoes. You've done this job before, and
you've got the DNA.
Give it Tim till the end of the season. Fancy it?
I think it was an honour for me to manage that football club, but it would be an honour for me to manage them again. I can do the job. I've proved I can do the job. So what they can't do is make a mistake with this appointment. So they need
like appointing you
to one gives me absolutely zero chance.
Each way bet.
But no, but
he wasn't joking.
That just shows you that there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that because it might not be sexy enough.
The reason I'm not in the frame for the Spurs job. The reason we're not in the frame for the Spurs job, Laurence, is it's just not sexy enough.
Well, no, that's actually why I'm in this frame for the Spurs job.
I talk too much. I've got too much of a personality for
right. That's why I didn't get it.
It's like, when you get rejected by a girl, you wouldn't know this, and you go she probably just couldn't handle me.
She probably thought I was too much man, I think.
Probably felt
she probably worried about the long-term future we'd have and the love she'd fall into.
She'd fall too much in love, and I get it. I get it. I'm human too.
Yeah,
I am.
I suppose it's because I talk too much. I'm too much of a personality. In many ways, I'm too humble, to take the job. And I like that you asked it, but what I would say is disrespectful because those conversations are private. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a reason for that.
I'd have expected better odds, I suppose, but also, some people have got to make a profit. So,
I love when he went.
It's crazy.
I love that he went, there's a reason for that. And then his reason was that they couldn't handle me.
Yeah. But also I also think it's crazy we're talking about bringing in a manager who hasn't. I don't even know the last thing that he did. It is the same as basically saying we might as well get Gary Neville.
I mean, Harry Redknapp, but Harry Redknapp answered the same
80,
question.
mate. He's 79.
No, but Harry Redknapp answered the same question, but said they're obviously not. I would love to, but they're obviously not going to do that, and that's the perfect answer. It's like it's great. Like obviously, I'd love to, but
yeah, when someone takes it too seriously and they're a bit too sincere.
His last managerial job was Villa in 2015.
Yeah, and football has changed. Football had changed already by the time he took that job.
Yeah.
Now it's a different world. I think he walks in there and the players go, "No way, off you pop."
Like Xavi Simons is not looking at Tim Sherwood going, "Right, I'm up for a relegation scrap."
That's part of the problem. It's just it's also such a different game now. You can't. Back then, you could kind of just motivate your way to a win.
Yeah.
Not that I'm sure he did that. How long was he even there? He must have done something.
Sherwood, he was there December 2013 to May 2014. God.
See what I'm saying? Like this is.
He had a win
crazy.
percentage of 50%.
Yeah, he's just not.
He was appointed at mid-season and got sacked at the end of the season.
Yeah.
How do you think? Do you think you're in the frame for them?
It's just Tim Sherwood. Yeah. Maybe he didn't think that, and maybe he also. I think the problem is when you're on live TV and someone probably throws you a bit of a curveball. You've not. He's definitely thought about it, but I mean, he hadn't fully thought it through.
Mm.
He hadn't thought more than a minute of an answer.
No.
He really should have just gone, "It's lovely." Oh, very good. Yeah. But also, I think in his head, he's going, I shouldn't count myself out here because if they were to call and I said no, it would look bad.
Yeah.
It looks. He's no more in the job conversation than I am.
But do you want the Spurs job? If you genuinely, if you
I'm too outspoken.
If Liverpool actually called you in some parallel universe and said, "Will you manage us till the end of the season?" Would you do it? I could. No way could I.
What's the money?
Yeah, the money would be good.
The money would be great.
The money would be great. That's a good point. Basically, could you deal with the hate? I mean, I feel like you and I know, not very much, but we know enough about football to put some players in the right positions, and probably just say
telling
to like
them what to do in that position and all those kind of things. That would be the real issue.
But you just leave it to your assistants. Handle. We'd be all right in the media.
Do I have to worry about? I wouldn't be all right in the media.
Actually, no, you wouldn't. That's how you get yourself sacked. It wouldn't be the results.
It would be me going, I need signings. The window's closed. I need signings. No, I think I would take it, but only because I begrudgingly just to help.
But I wouldn't want you because you're too outspoken, mate. That's the problem with you.
I'm too outspoken. I'm too opinionated, and yeah, sure, I might intimidate a few people up on board level, but that's
might be too good looking as well. That's the problem.
What the billionaires up top? You think anyone in that room looks at you and takes you seriously, Tim? It's just the way it is. It feels mean to say it, and I think football is a very kind of football. The problem with football is it sometimes is just too harsh.
It is, yeah. I wouldn't disagree with that.
Such an awful reality that he walks around at home, and I don't know. I think the problem is he's a lovely guy off camera. Probably. I don't know if I can say that.
Have you met him?
Only in passing, not in kind of like not intense conversation. Yeah, I don't know if I can say that.
I love talking football with you, Laurence. It's good fun,
and also with you.
We did a studio show for TDK
Real
Plus.
life was much better.
IRL.
Did that go down well?
We should. I think so. I think people enjoyed it. I think people like how we bounce off each other. Is the feedback I get. We should try and get this in a studio. Yeah, it's great. I love it. I did. There was one that
we should try and get this in the studio. I was saying.
There's one where I cut it only because you see me go.
This fucking guy.
We should try and get this in a studio, genuinely, and also a name for it. So let us know in the comments.
Let's get a name for it.
Someone, the top 3 comments on our episode were love this chat, thanks, with 3 up likes. That's very nice.
I love that.
As always, love this duo, says Katie Grace, and we want more Will. We want more Will content, says Godspeed Plays.
Love that. Absolutely love that.
Should we look at the comments on our, just to close out? Look at the comments on our videos.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah.
Top tier take from Carl Froberg about your ball in play thing, and then someone says, "No, it's not. It's one of the worst ever."
Yeah, fair play. There you go. Well, we all disagree.
Someone said, "Question, Alex, do you really have a UEFA badge?" No,
of course not. I mean, he has a badge that says UEFA on it, but apart from that, no.
I suspect I was joking. Chase6845, is this available on platforms other than YouTube? Ask Laurence.
It will be very soon. I'm actually working on setting that up, but if they don't act faster, I'll have to go somewhere else. I hope they're watching.
He's working on setting it up. Alex is collecting podcasts like Infinity Stones. Respect the hustle.
Good hustle.
Are you guys dating for now? Says Dead Zeppelin.
Not for now.
Not yet. Louis Evans says, I'm enjoying this pod. Keep it going, lads.
Good. Oh, wait. Someone's at my front door. I need to go and get it.
Is it your wife?
No, it's my dad.
We'll finish there. With this comment. Laurence, I get that. McKenna and Alex, do you know what I mean? Moneypenny. Signing out.
Appreciate you guys.
Like and subscribe.